Okay, welcome back. Friday, 9th of May, 1:31 UK time, and we are actually switching over two different coins today. We're going to be looking at Bitcoin, USDT, and we're going to be looking at Ethereum. So both of them are currently on the 4-hour charts, and let's have a look at where we was last viewing. So we was looking at this rising wedge pattern, which has a higher probability of breaking to the downside. Came back into this previous rising wedge from all the way back in March, broke back into it and started to play within these lines again, and has just pumped and broken straight above that top trend line of the rising wedge, rising channel. And look how it's just flown above. It's currently highly oversold on the RSI, reading at 86 on the 4-hour. Let's flip over to Ethereum for a second and see what's happening in Ethereum, because I mean, look at this pump from, this was this morning. Sorry, that was yesterday morning. Let's just say like just over 24 hours. Let's measure this. So that's 1800 there. And it rose to 24. And that's 6. So you're talking about 25% increase within just over 12 hours. Now, for sure, there will be some kind of pullback. As you can see on the RSI, prices just clearly oversold. Reading even at 90, I think 95 at its highest. Just wow. So the idea would be to be looking at previous support resistance lines and see if there's a trade opportunity for short on Ethereum. So if we just zoom back out and go to our 4-hour candles, and by the way, when I type in 240, that's the amount of minutes in the 4 minutes. So just gives you a better picture as what's going on here. Now, I've put this line in because, as you can see, this is previous support, broke down and acted as previous resistance here and here. Now, as you can see, the price is reached close to this area and is currently sitting around here. Now, if I just zoom in and do the 15-minute, because I want to see the details to exactly where we are. So, okay, we've already had some kind of pullback. You could be looking at a possible double top before heading back down. I don't know if it's going to head much further than this. This is just such a pump. So the idea would be this is how I would enter this trade. So between the top and the current price now, I would measure 50% and I'll say this is a buy-in, and I'll set the stop loss above this area here. So I'll be looking for a pullback before move down. So we'll be saying about 50% in between this and this would be sitting around 424.20. Okay, so we're doing a short, so we'll be doing a short. Open up the trading account, hit that short button, limited 224.20. Okay, stop loss will be set above, let's just say 26 for now. So 26 will be the stop loss. 26, risking 1%. That's perfect. And take profit will be, in fact, I'll just, because we can actually adjust it here, the take profit will be basically before it gets to this trend, top of the trend line, modify, looking for at least a 2-to-1. So just before it gets to arrives at the trend line, we want to be taking our profit. So let's have a look at the idea. The idea is for it to come down, retest if it's going to make any further moves up. So that's the trade idea. Price will, if it comes back up to this area, it will buy us in, hopefully not exceeding this, but just in case, we've got a stop loss there. Buy us back in for a rundown 50% ways of this to take profits. I say 50% because usually the cycles of run-ups, when things run up, the pullback's usually 30 to 50% before it goes for the next wave up. So if this is now, let's just come out of here, go back to our 4-hour candle. Now you can see, look at that pump, incredible, just incredible. And to think that Ethereum was not long at the beginning of the month, on the 9th of April, around about that, sitting at 1300, and it's now at 2500 almost in a month, 1 month. So you've had basically almost 50% in 1 month. Insane. So, you know, like we just have, well, let's just see what happens with this trade. I'm going to leave it now. Let's head back over to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, we already have our previous support resistance lines drawn in. So as you can see, again, it done the unexpected, broke above our rising channel, and it's clearly above our 102 support resistance line. So if it can hang around and above up here, then of course move to the upside. The next area of support resistance will be 106, this area. And you know, if he was going to be doing a short trade on that move, I don't know if you know, the thing is that if you look at the big picture, let's go to the day, 1 day. If I type in 1 day, would it do it? No, you won't. All right, let's just go to the day like that. So let's have a look at what's actually been happening price wise. So we had a double top here, price ran down. If we just look at our double top measured move, okay, so from the top to the bottom, and let's take that, place it. Do you notice how it just perfectly lines up with these support and resistance areas? Can you see how that works? I've just taken the measurement from the previous all-time highs double top and placed it at the bottom, and it just, look at that, it's just spot on. Okay, wonderful, textbook, as they would say. So it's come down, it's had its bounce, and this is like, so you had the lower low than this low, then you had the lowest low here, and it's just kind of been up and away all month. I mean, you can't even call this there has been no real pullback. It's just been kind of consolidation and then move up, consolidation and then move up. There has been actually no pullback for 1 month. So, you know, let's just see how we're going to leave these trend lines in. This is the daily now. You can see even on the daily, we're currently reading 80 on the RSI. Who knows what could happen? We could come to all-time highs, could just peak above it. But let's look at the bigger picture. When we come to the weekly and we look at Bitcoin history, okay, 2021 March, we had our all-time highs, pullback, then we had a peak, double top, and then everything just fell apart. And we were down at 1500. Silly me for not acting on that. You know, to be honest, at that point I was quite new in crypto, and I was scared as hell to even put any more money, because I'd placed some money in here in the top areas, no, round about this point, and just got destroyed. And that was me entering into crypto, so I got destroyed straight away. Then this happened, and I was scared as hell. I didn't know if Bitcoin was just going to go to the floor. But that would have been, look at that, 1,000. So going back to what I was saying, you've had this double top here, run down, and again we've had our mini double top, and looks like we're having another run again. History likes to repeat itself with Bitcoin. It does. If I go to, unfortunately, this is Yeah. Anyway, so right now, as I said, we see a double top on the weeklies. We start seeing red candles come back below 95, below 91 rather, 1,000. We could be looking at some significant downside to Bitcoin on a whole. You know, we must understand that if it ran down all the way to 31, it will kind of be a replay of this rundown from 67 to 15. And these things do happen in crypto. So anyway, that's enough for my video. See you in the next one.
I mean, nice and good for you.